Hey guys, we're gonna do a tier list currently for what we feel about Age of Empires 4 right now. Someone asked me how I would rank the civilizations. I didn't know myself, so I figured it might make sense for us to do a quick tier list based on day after release. So starting off, we have the Chinese. Wait, there's 5 different tiers though. I'm not sure if we need more than 3. But yeah, we'll just do S tier right away. Franks, immediate S tier. So easy to play. Straightforward. They have great economy bonuses. They have great early units, great late game units. They have fantastic economy. They are undeniably the best unit on water maps because they have access to the Hulk and the Feudal Age, which is just it's a Castle Age ship for most other civs, and it's just the strongest Castle Age ship there is, based on my current feelings. So yeah, Franks just feel right now like they're so good in the early age, dark age, feudal age, castle age. The thing is, I haven't gotten to play them in post-imperial age because the game is always over before imperial age because they just win before then. So Mongols, undeniably S tier. They're the best civ right now in the game, without a shadow of a doubt in my mind. What should we do next? Now keep in mind there are some civs that don't have as much experience with. Yeah, let's do Holy Roman Empire. I think right now they have to go into a B tier. I feel like they have potential with their infantry, getting relics, and getting more gold from relics and sacred sites. Actually, I'm not sure if they get extra gold from sacred sites, but they get more gold from relics potentially, and really strong infantry. They feel like kind of an average civilization where they're quite good on everything. Very well rounded, it feels like. You can go cavalry, you can go range, you can go infantry. And you have some different bonuses to play around with prelate, whatever that's called. You can inspire your villagers in the early game. So yeah, Holy Roman Empire for me feels like a B tier right now. I'm still not convinced on how I would like to play them. Something we'll definitely learn. We'll probably do like an updated tier list now and then. French, how I like to play them generally is just open with the fast feudal age with the stable. Maybe get a second TC fast while you're making some Royal Knights. You can add archers as well. And yeah, Holy Roman Empire do have man-at-arms rush potential in feudal age, which is also really powerful indeed. So do not sleep on men-at-arms. They are really good in Age of Empires 4. If you're coming from AoE 2, men-at-arms are way better now than they used to be. English, A tier. It has to be A tier. Longbows really good. They have solid economy. Farming around mills is better. It's just, again, it's like French. I feel like they're very straightforward and simple to play in many ways, and you still get to a decent composition no matter what. I feel like some glaring weaknesses though, potentially against siege, mangonels in particular, because you tend to go for compositions with spearmen and archers or longbows mostly. And then the mangonels are quite deadly. But yeah, still feels super solid all over. I like to open with the longbowman building. Council Hall, I think it's called. Get some longbows out and just adapt from there. Very solid civ. French, very noob friendly. I think English as well, quite noob friendly. Holy Roman Empire, a little bit more difficult to play. Okay, Mongols, A tier immediately. Mongols is a civ that I feel like potentially can be S tier as well. But they're just so hard to play. They're very, very tricky to play. Like, Mongols can feel like D tier in one game, and they'll feel like S tier in the next game. But I think they're a civilization with massive potential. You can open early aggression, you can open with cavalry in the Dark Age, you can open with Mangudai in the Feudal Age. You have the potential to use their trade bonuses insanely well. The Yam network is really, really good. And economy can kind of get out of control in a positive way, that you're just floating resources and suddenly... I had a game earlier today where I was able to just go Imperial Age randomly because my resources just kept jumping so high up without me doing anything special. So Mongols, depending a little bit APM heavy, but very dependent on mobility, activity, and utilizing their bonus as well. Thing is, if you don't use the bonuses of Mongols, you suffer more compared if you don't use the bonuses of other civs. So Mongol, very tricky to play, but very good civilization. Okay, so this is Delhi. I'll throw Delhi into C tier right now. I think Delhi are hard to play. With upgrades lasting forever, kind of. It is hard to get used to playing them with their mechanics as well. You have to garrison like your priests. I'm not sure what they're called in the mosques. Imams? Oh, but you have to garrison your monastery unit in the mosque to speed up the research time. But then again, you can also gather sacred sites in Feudal Age, for example, or earlier before Castle Age, which no other civs can. So there is some potential there as well. Elephants, honestly, right now, elephants, scholars is the word. Scholars is the word indeed. Elephants right now feel shit. Sorry to say, they're so expensive. They take up 3 population. I don't think Delhi right now on paper is a great civ. They don't really outshine any civs in Imperial Age either, I think. But they're decent, and I think as they get more figured out, I would not be surprised to see them go up to B tier, maybe A tier even, once they are completely figured out. But very hard civ to play, no question about it. Chinese. C tier. Another civ super hard to play. All the dynasties are a bit difficult to get the hang around. Very flexible tech tree though. You can kind of go for everything. You have the Nest of Bees, which is also a cool unit. Very good siege units Chinese does. So if you get to the late game, Chinese has probably the best siege in the game. So if you can get there, there's a lot of potential. But Chinese in the early phases of the game, very difficult to play. And very difficult to know what's the right way to go. Because you can build 2 landmarks in the same age. So you can build both landmarks that are used to advance to Feudal Age, and that will push you to the next dynasty, which will give you another bonus, and so forth and so forth. So yeah, they're also a civ that's gonna take some time to figure out, but once they get figured out, I think they have a lot of potential. Just like Delhi. So these civs, in a month or 2, these civs might be looking at a different tier, depending on how it goes. Of course, if there might be balance changes as well. But first impression right now, Chinese, difficult to play, very tricky, but there might be a lot of potential in there. Rus, throw them straight up to A. Rus, really fun civ to play. The bounty shenanigans are always fun, makes the early game exciting because you have to go around, find the hunt and deer and try to get your bounty up, and then you can transition to Feudal Age, you have early knights. The outpost can speed up your lumber income. You can do the market landmark, which means you can buy a town center quite early on in the Feudal Age. There's just a lot of options with Rus, and I also think Rus has one of the best late games in the game with things like Streltsy, and their Cav Archer is also really good. Combine Streltsy, Cav Archers with Siege, and that's a really tough composition to beat in the Imperial Age. Might even be the best composition right now, at least the ones from what I've seen that I've faced. I might say Rus might have the best late game composition. And at last, Abbasid. I think Abbasid is between A and B tier. They're probably one of the civs I've played the least, along with Delhi. But they have really good bonuses on certain maps. Like the maps with a lot of ponds, I think they're easily A tier, because their docks are cheaper, which gives you a really nice eco boost in the start. But on other maps, they might settle on a B tier. Abbasid, obviously, they have access to a bunch of camels. You have to advance to the next age with the House of Wisdom. There's also something in there with the Golden Age tier, where you can increase your gathering rate and such with villagers by connecting buildings, pretty much. Then also feels like a well-rounded civ. You have camel archers, you have camels. And the thing with Abbasid that I think is really cool is that you can build siege with infantry and such without doing the siege technology in the blacksmith, which also gives them a lot of potential for making like big all-in Feudal Age plays, because you can do that. You can make the battering rams without actually investing too much. So another civ that I think has a lot of potential, and that's the cool thing about this, right? All civs can play out so differently, and they have so many options. So that's why this game is real fun for me right now. Obviously, there's still a lot of things that can improve in the game, but I am enjoying it a lot. And I think this is how I would say that I feel about the civilizations right now. Yeah, I don't think I would change anything here. I think French is clearly the best, no, without a shadow of a doubt. And also, on water maps, they're also unbeatable, so... I don't know what you think. What do you guys think? What civs do you think are the best? I feel like there's no one that's gonna say other civs than French. They're just so good. Anyways, that's the tier list the day after release. Maybe I'll do an updated one in like a week or two. So yeah, we'll see you for that one.